Welcome back. Thank you so much for dialing in. It's a brand new day, which means a brand new opportunity to delve into a really cool topic this morning. So if you've ever been dating your significant other for a while, and you might have gotten the game question from family members, of course, when are you going to be getting married? It emerges every now and then, and having someone else randomly advise you on life plans is then often really awkward because everybody's got an opinion. Marriage is a big deal, trust me. And if you're still on the fence about it, well, you've come to the right place.
You really have, because today we are discussing marriage and its place in a modern world. How does that look like? How are we navigating this space? Now, our panel consists of couple and relationship coaches, Marwan Fredericks and Zainab Ibrahim, as well as everyone's favorite, our clinical psychologist is back this morning, Stendile Mbata. Now, do you think marriage is still a life goal for today's youth, or has it lost its meaning? That is a discussion. So please do send us those WhatsApp voice notes. We'd love to hear from you. That number is 063-408-8863. Welcome to our panel.
Thank you, guys. Slee, have you gotten married yet? When are you getting married?
No, don't do that.
Happen, girl. Every time we sit down here, now I'm going to give you a chance to think about that.
Let's have another show about that.
Funny enough, after 10 years of being in a relationship, I finally plucked up the courage and was at that place in life. So I understand the need to wait, but there's also something beautiful about launching and having the guts to do that. So we're going to start with your incredible story. Zainab, how did you guys meet and connect, and what was it about this crazy guy that made you fall in love and want to take that forever step, not just the next step, but that ultimate step?
So Marwan and I were acquaintances, and we had a very casual conversation one day, and we realized that our goals as life coaches were very much aligned. You know, we wanted to really get our message out to many people, have group workshops, and so obviously two is better than one. And so we decided to partner up. And, you know, when you work closely with someone, you really get to know them. So the natural progression was then to become really, really good friends. And then you get to, I mean, I remember saying to him, I really admired him as a person, and I saw him as a role model. And he was somebody with really beautiful characteristics and qualities. And one that really stood out for me was that he was very committed to constantly improving himself, and that was very important for me. And so things happened. And we were at a point in our lives where we were both sort of in a very healthy space as individuals. And so we're ready to make that commitment to each other, because I do believe marriage is a commitment. It's a long-term commitment. It's a very public commitment. But at the same time, I do believe it should be easy and effortless.
Okay, that's your side of the story.
Yeah,
What's your side of the story, buddy? You saw her, you fell in love, and you...
Okay, so basically, Zainab and I at some point decided to coach each other. And we were going through our own personal struggles, so we were very much on our own individual journey. And what we realized, though, through coaching each other, that we were able to let go of our past baggage. Because often couples bring that baggage into a marriage, and it plays out in the marriage. And so in terms of us forming Unleash Your Power, the basis and the inspiration behind that was to highlight the importance of letting go and constantly developing yourself and working on yourself as two individuals, yet you're still forming part of the same unit. So if you're in a healthier space and your partner's in a healthier space emotionally and psychologically, then it makes sense that you're setting you up for success. So yeah, I think we're both aligned in that regard.
I love. And when people share these stories and just their journeys of how they found that for me, it's so exciting. And just to see that the concept of marriage is still out there. People still want to get married and have a partner and be in partnership and create healthy relationships. Is this concept of marriage for everyone? Do you see that?
Yeah, look, I think that it really depends on individuals, but I would say the short answer is no. It's not for everybody. You know, I do think that it is a substantial, I mean, we all know this, it's a substantial commitment that you're making on a psychological level, an emotional level, on a financial level as well. And, you know, for some people, it has these sort of moral, ethical, and religious implications too. So not everybody resonates with those values in particular. So it's not that, you know, there's maybe some people are more suitable for marriage than others. It's just that, you know, it has to be something that deeply, deeply resonates with you for you to feel like, I can jump in and make this commitment. So maybe not everybody could do it or should do it. I think it has to be a deeply personal thing, and you should believe in it if you're going to.
Well, listen, I come from the opposite end of the spectrum where I didn't come from a single-parent home, didn't believe in the institution of marriage. In fact, I thought it was a negative thing. I thought it was a challenge that was thrown in there. And I always knew if it came to that day where I just couldn't bear not to have her as my wife, then I knew, and then I knew. But it's different for everybody. Zainab, I want you to think about those qualities within ourselves if this is a personal journey of discovery. When do we know we are ready? We're going to think about that. You can think about that. We're going to continue the discussion in just a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel-Good Breakfast Show. And, of course, we are back to our very interesting discussion this morning about marriage in a modern world. And it's featuring our panel of experts. We have clinical psychologist Slim Bata, as well as Marwan Fredericks and Zainab Ibrahim from Unleash Your Power. Now, early on, we explored whether marriage was for everyone. And right now, we'll also be delving into the alternatives to marriage. Now, do you think marriage is still a life goal for today's youth, or has it lost its meaning? We do want you to join in on this discussion and send us those voice notes. We want to hear from you. What is your thoughts on this? That number is 063-408-8863.
In fact, Zikona has weighed in already with a voice note. Let's see how they perceive marriage in the modern context.
Good morning, you guys. I just need to say you guys look absolutely dashing this morning. You look so amazing. Okay, on tonight's topic, this morning's topic, it's a Monday. I do not think so. I do not think so. It's still the goal for today's youth. It's not for me, that I know. I'm no longer pursuing to get married one day. I'm just living my life, making sure that I'm absolutely happy at all times and just doing what I love best. Other than that, no, if marriage happens, then it happens, good for me. But if it doesn't, it's still no problem.
Interesting.
I like that approach, though, and that's how love really does find you. If you just get out of your own way, then often it'll fall into place. But I'm oversimplifying quite a complex kind of life path. Marriage is part of that bigger picture life path journey. Zainab, I was asking you earlier to think about this. When you know you're ready, you guys speak about having let go of the baggage, and yes, you were able to help each other facilitate that process, which is great, but all of us are wanting to let go of the past so that we can move into the future unhindered by it. When do you know you're ready? Do you know, or do you only find out once you actually enter into that space? How do you feel about it?
Well, in terms of the qualities that you would need, I would say that someone needs to be in a really healthy space. And what I mean by that is, are you mentally, emotionally, physically in a healthy space? Because when you are, you're very much in balance with who you are as a person. And many people think, I feel really, like there's something wrong. And so they hope that when they get married, that somehow their marriage is going to fill that void. And that's really looking for trouble. And then the other thing is to really be secure with who you are as a person. Because when you are, you feel really good about yourself, you love and approve of yourself. And we as coaches ask our clients very often, do you love yourself? And the answer is usually yes, but that's very rarely the case. And a good way to test that is to really, go up really close into your bathroom mirror and look into your own eyes and use your name, because there's real power in your name. And as you look into your own eyes, to say, Zainab, I love and approve of you exactly the way you are. And if you can do that with absolute conviction, I'd say you're in a pretty good space. But if that is hard, and I remember years ago, I could not get the words out, I would literally just cry. And that was a clear indication for me that I needed to work on myself. And when you are in a really healthy space and you do decide to tie the knot, then the relationship is much easier, because you're not going into that relationship with insecurities, jealousies, constantly, looking for your partner to where you seek that validation from your partner.
A fixer-upper, I call it. A fixer-upper. You don't need those running repairs.
Sure.
Yeah.
And something I love that you keep mentioning is healthy, because so often, especially as the young youth, they always think that the other person is going to fill that void, that it's 50-50, so whatever I lack, that person's going to give, and that's often the misconception. What are some of the other misconceptions when it comes to youth, when their thoughts come through, this is what marriage is going to be?
I think for me, one of the main misconceptions is that if you don't have to look very far to see that marriage, the idea of marriage is also very much romanticized.
Yeah,
in terms of the movies we watch. You're not going to always be in a tuxedo and she's in
No?
a dress, and that kind of romance doesn't exist in marriage. Even if you look at like the line from the movie Jerry Maguire, "You complete me." I mean, you come into marriage complete as an individual, and you complement each other rather. But if there's not that degree of romance in marriage, like the way the movies portray it, then what is the romance you'll find in marriage? And the romance you find in marriage is what is available to you in every moment of your life. You come home from work, you feeling tired, you didn't have a good day, you're not looking your best, you're not feeling your best, but you share a meal with each other. It's in the messages that you send with each other. It's when you get out of your car, for example, and you don't just dart off in the direction you want to go, but you wait for each other and you walk together. Those are the little romances that you're going to find in marriage. So, yeah.
It's also, and it's with a person who knows you better than anyone else, for good or for bad. I think that's why they throw that line in there. Slee, I've got to ask you, because you can achieve all of these wonderful things without actually tying the knot. You don't need a contract in place to prove your love. What are some of the benefits for maintaining a relationship, a connection, without having the marriage kind of guise? Because I think a lot of people see it painted with that brush and they're like, nope, I have a problem with authority, it's not for me. What are some of the benefits of staying together without that marriage kind of certificate in place, do you think?
Well, I think for one, it can offer people quite a great level of flexibility. You know, the fact that, okay, maybe feel that I'm in control of my finances, you know, and I don't have to think in terms of like what are going to be the implications perhaps for my partner, or, you know, now we have the same, everything is all pulled together. So, yes, you can sort of plan together, but maybe you have just a little bit more control, if that's something that you value. I think also you get to know your partner really, really well, you know, without, for some people, feeling like there's kind of the sword that's hanging over your head. So you get very well acquainted with the other person, you really learn what sort of person they are, and maybe one day you actually realize, you know what, I do want to marry them. I do want to be with them.
Only took 10 years.
Only 10 years for you.
I just had to wear it down, man. I just had to wear it down. I absolutely love it. There are so many ways that you can look at this particular topic this morning, and there is zero judgment attached to any. We are talking about marriage in the modern context.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back to our discussion this morning about marriage in a modern world, featuring our panel of experts. Of course, we have clinical psychologist Slee Mbata, as well as Marwan Fredericks and Zainab Ibrahim from Unleash Your Power.
And we want to know from you guys this morning, do you feel that marriage is still a life goal for today's young people, or has it lost its meaning? Please join in the discussion. Send us a voice note via our WhatsApp line. 063 408 8863 is the line to use, as we do every day. And Chanel actually dropped us a voice note. Let's hear what she had to say.
Good morning, Breakfast Show. My name is Chanel. And on this morning's topics of if marriage is still a goal in today's world, I think it is for some people. But for those youngsters who still want to be free and have fun, not as much, because, well, marriage is more like a family kind of thing. So if you have kids, I think marriage is still a goal.
Okay, I like that.
Interesting to say that she says that, like, she won't be free or have fun in a marriage, because that's a misconception. A lot of people feel like once you go into the institution of marriage, you are going to be so blocked off. You're just going to be your family. It's a misconception, right?
Yeah.
You're not in a very...
No, it's a misconception. We have quite a lot of fun, but I think the important thing that the two individuals need to be aligned to the purpose, the intent, and the well-being of the relationship. And then you will be able to support each other in your careers and etc., and have that fun that you seek.
It could actually be the key that unlocks the fun. It enables you to be able to do it because you've got your support structures there. Justin also weighed in the conversation. Let's hear her voice note.
A very good morning to my Expresso family. My presenters, you are dressed to kill, really. Yes, for me personally, marriage has lost its value, really now. Goes with respect, love and communication. And you know what? The secret is a couple that prays together, stays together. Blessed day all. Thank you, Jocelyn Abogaris. Bye.
Thank you, Jer. Thank you, Jocelyn. Got to be aligned on multiple levels. It's not just about what you want to achieve in your life, maybe professionally or your personal goals. There's got to be a spiritual connection or at least an alignment. You can come from two different polarities, but you've got to be able to align. How do we establish that alignment before we take the steps to get married in your mind? How do you make sure that you are a team?
I think it's very important to establish goals for the relationship. And so when you do that, you have those difficult conversations on whether, you know, there's an expectancy to have kids or,
For sure.
you know, the expectancy for both parties to have and pursue their careers. And to have, you know, interesting conversations on how we navigate disagreements. You know, a lot of people feel that in a relationship, it's only healthy when you don't have disagreements, which is quite the opposite, because then it means you're actually internalizing everything and not sharing it.
For sure.
And yeah, it festers and eventually blows out. So once you are able to, you know, I would even recommend once a week just sitting down and actually emptying out, you know, what's bothering you? Is there anything that you want to share and get off your chest? And kind of not do that on date night, because then it puts a damp on date night.
I was going to say, how much time do you have? No, I love that.
Graham asked you already, and I want to ask you, Marwan, when do you know it's the right time? Will you know? Is it something that goes off in your mind? Is it something that's triggered? What leads you to the point where you say, you know what, I'm ready for that next step?
Basically, if you have the commitment in terms of making the relationship a priority, because relationships that are success, marriages that are success, are where the two individuals have made the relationship a priority.
Yeah.
So what that means is then that if, for example, you were to have an argument, the priority is not to be right.
Yeah, for sure.
To win the argument. You think you're going to feel better, but often you feel worse. So when you're trying to win the argument, that serves the priority of your own egotistical need rather than the success and the well-being of the relationship. So if you committed to being able to give every day towards the relationship, that is when you know you are, in my experience, you are perhaps it's time.
You've entered into that zone. I absolutely love that, and especially if kids are in the fold, you have to, excuse me, make your relationship a priority. Just very quickly, Slee, to the rest of the people like yourself that are refusing to ever get married. Now, I'm joking, I know I've laid it on thick with you. But for those who are facing that pressure, maybe not just from family, but from society, what do you have to say for them? What advice for those that still need to feel okay if they're not following that conventional route?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you know, you don't have to fall in with the opinions of everybody else. Just because they say it, it doesn't mean it's the truth.
For sure.
So living your life according to the opinions and values of other people and not your own is a very high-risk way, you know, of going about your life. So I do think whatever it is that you're doing, do what resonates with you. Do what resonates with your particular values. And if you feel like, you know, you want to get married one day, that's also fine. But you shouldn't do something just for the sake of doing it, because it's your life at the end of the day. You have to walk through the door of your home and live it and live in that reality every single day. So that should be coming from a truthful place, from a healthy place, and it should feel like, you know what, this is the right thing.
This is home.
Yeah.
Authenticity. We say it probably at the end of every single one of these chats, but if you're not living your own authentic life, what good are you to anybody else? But the moment will come, or maybe it won't. It doesn't make you any different kind of person. Love is out there, and it should be embraced, not just for convention's sake, but because it makes both of you better people. You are so much stronger and better together. Get that right, and you will find the perfect match.